everybody, welcome back to VinTech, the show that takes way too long for every single episode to come out. But here I am, doing the thing. We are doing the thing. Let's do the thing. So today I'm taking a look at the SOLUS project, SOLUS OS. Now, this distribution has been in the news quite a lot. Just in the past year or so, and it's been in development. It's been kind of hit or miss in terms of my experience with it in the past. Just on a whim, I installed it on my main machine just to see what it would be like. And let me tell you, it has really improved over the course of its development. It has gotten to the point where I would have no issue recommending this to people who just want a Linux distribution that works. Now, as always, of course, we have the little caveat that they focus on the quality of software, and what that means is they don't have a huge repository of software. Now, that isn't to say, and I mistakenly believed this when I installed it, that isn't to say that there isn't a whole lot of software, because take a look at this. I was actually able today to install the Spotify app, which is only actually available for Ubuntu. Somebody compiled it for this, apparently. I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure how the package manager of Solus works, but there it is. I mean, you can see it there, and I'll run it real quick. It does work. The app loads up and everything, and it's... So yeah, we're going to take a look at this today. Starting off with, let me just say, when I installed this thing, I have never had a Linux distribution play nice with my graphics card. It's an old, I think it's like a it's a GeForce 9500 or something like that. It's very old. And actually, if you listen carefully, it's that little clicking sound you hear. The fan doesn't work on the graphics card all the way, but the thing is, I've never had a Linux distribution cooperate with the graphics card 100%. There's always like a generic driver you can install, and it's always okay. It's not great, but it's okay. This distribution, I mean, I literally just opened up the menu when I installed it, and it was actually already full screen. Everything looked good, but I just pulled up the menu and I typed in drivers, obviously hardware drivers, and searching for available drivers, and boom, there it is. It found it like that. I mean, faster, way faster. Like Ubuntu's graphics card or additional drivers dialogue thing is terrible compared to this. I mean, it was so smooth. It was so fast. I mean, that, and you'll notice that's a theme throughout this entire review and look at this distribution, is everything is so stinking polished. I mean, seriously. I've been watching a lot of guys on YouTube talking about the new iPhone 8, which actually this is being recorded on an iPhone 8 Plus. And they're talking about how the software has got a lot of slop in it. There's not a lot of attention to detail anymore. They're focusing too much on the hardware and not enough on the software. And that was kind of what inspired me to take a look at this this distribution, is because they are about quality as opposed to quantity. Their software is very carefully picked. They want, so like if you were to go into the software center, which is right here, and tell it to search for a screen recorder, some sort of screencasting tool. The only one I found was this one, Simple Screen Recorder. That's the one you see here. It is worth saying, by the way, that the screen tearing you see here is not actually a problem with the OS. It just has to do with the fact that I'm running Simple Screen Recorder, which apparently doesn't play nice with my graphics card. That's an issue with Simple Screen Recorder, not with Solus. Just to clarify that. So anyway, oops, sorry. That was close. Let me minimize that real quick. Let's start out here on the right hand side with just what's on this panel here. We've got starting out pretty big is this little notification center, this notification shade that slides in and out from the side. This looks so nice and smooth. I mean, this video is being recorded at 60 frames a second on here, and you can see how smooth it is. You'll see the screen tearing, but you can see how smooth it is. It is just, you know, buttery smooth. And we have things that we have, so output, we have audio output settings here, so I can choose which output of audio I want to choose from. I think that's awesome. The volume control, you can adjust it with your mouse wheel, always nice. Some distributions don't do that, and I think they all should. It's really a handy tool. And then of course we've got the calendar here. You can check to see if you have any events, notifications, or anything like that. Everything here is collapsible, so you can do that. And then over here we have notifications, and this is where so if something works, I believe if you run a terminal command, I'm going to try this real quick. I'm not sure 100% if it'll work, but if you, well, I won't do this now because it probably won't work just because I'm trying to get it to work. But if a terminal command completes correctly and it's doing something, a notification will pop up. It'll let you know that it's done. In case you're running something that takes a long time in the background, it will pop up a notification. It'll tell you that it worked. I get the impression that if you get like an email, if you have Thunderbird open, which is the default mail app on here, if you get an email, I get the impression a notification will pop up here, and you can, you know, clear it just like Android. And I've noticed that too, by the way. A lot of this is like material design style Android all the way. Like this, look at this hex chat icon here. This is just regular IRC hex chat, and the icon for it is this like Android Messenger-esque looking thing, and it looks really good. I just was surprised to see that. But yeah, so that's this window here, and then down here we have a shortcut to the budgie settings, which is different from the system settings. This is just the desktop environment settings, so I can change widgets, set the appearance of window decorations and controls. So, you know, I like the theme the way it is now. I'm not going to mess with it, but that you could do that. You could change stuff here. Not 100% sure what that. Yeah. So just change the window theme just a tiny bit. Icons. I dig the icons. Not going to change them, but this is where you would do that. The cursor again. This is actually from KDE5, I think. Where this cursor comes from, and it's a sweet cursor. I like that too. Everything on this, when I booted it up, I was like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. Everything here works and it looks good. So the only thing I changed was the wallpaper, and even the wallpaper was good. So, you know, just a personal preference thing. Dark theme, that applies right away. Looks really good too. If I'm working at night, if I'm going to do some programming in whatever, you know, program, Java editor or whatever that I'm working in, it should apply the dark theme, and it would look good. Less strain on the eyes. That's what a lot of people use that for. So that's good. Built-in theme. I assume this is like if you have a GNOME theme, if you want to apply a GNOME 3 theme. This is based on GNOME 3. So I think in theory, if you were to install a GNOME theme, you could override the budgie theme in favor of the GNOME theme that you installed with this. Not 100% sure. I haven't played a ton with budgie. This is mostly, I mean, I've used this system for like a day, and I'm kind of going through this with you because it's, you know, it's more interesting that way. There's animations, you can toggle that on and off, so that's cool. Desktop, you can turn on or off desktop icons. I could add icons to the desktop if I wanted to. I prefer a clean desktop, I wouldn't do that, but you could add a shortcut to your home directory. That popped up on the other monitor, but there it is right there. You know, like I just said, I prefer a clean desktop, so I'm not going to have that on there, but you can do the same with network servers, trash, mounted volumes. So that's nice that's included there. Fonts, you can change your fonts. They look good to me, so I'm not gonna, but that's where you would do it. Excuse me. The window button layout, you can swap those over here to the left side, and it looks like it rearranges them to be what they would be on a Mac. I think that looks like crap, so I'm not going to keep it that way. But you can do it. If you are more used to the Mac style, you can do it. It's not a big deal. Modal dialogues attached to the parent window, move together when drags. Not 100% sure what that is, but I imagine it's some kind of like if you were to have a drop-down menu or something, or anything about the description of the window or something will move with it when it moves. So you can turn that on and off. Automatic tiling, when you drag it up here, it will full screen. You drag it over here, it will half screen. That's what that is. And this is just a fix for if you're having graphical issues with the dedicated GPU, which I'm not, thankfully. So that's good. Now this was really interesting. I'm not sure if this was available in the original build of Solus that I used a long time ago, but this panel editor, you can change what is in the panel and add things and remove things, which is really, really nice. This is way easier to do than like working on GNOME. And honestly, I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm surprised that Ubuntu didn't kind of jump on the Budgie train, because it's so much easier to use than just standard GNOME 3. Like between this and Cinnamon, why would anyone ever use GNOME 3? It's so not user-friendly compared to stuff like this. But another cool thing is you can create a new panel. If you wanted to have 2 panels or 3 panels, you could have them wherever you want. You could, I mean, it almost rivals, I can't really say this, but it's reminds me a little bit of XFCE. I have a partition on this system. Well, it's not exactly a partition, it's a separate drive that's running Arch Linux on XFCE, and I can do the same thing. I actually have 3 different panels on that system. I have one up here for stuff like this, just these pinned things on here. My window list is up here at the top, and then this stuff over here is over on the bottom, and that's 3 separate things. I have them all transparent. It looks really cool. It's not exactly consistent when a window pops up and you can see, where the panels are, but you get the idea. It's very customizable, and I really appreciate that. And then your session auto start stuff, for when you log in, stuff that you want to run. So that's cool. Here looks like is the look at that. I locked the computer. So the recording's still going, so we're good. So that's the lock button. Not gonna hit that again. And the power button will allow you to log out of the system. I have yet to find the shutdown. The only way I can figure out how to actually just shut it down is to Control-Alt-Delete and then shut down, which is probably the way they want you to do it, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't bother me. So we can go in here and take a look at some of the applications on here. And this is really important because these applications are one of the reasons that Solus is its whole thing. Like, this is their whole idea, is that they have these applications, and they're better. You don't have as many, but they're better than most of the other ones. So the calculator app here, I imagine this is just calculator. Okay, so it's just called calculator. By Sun Microsystem. Okay, I mean, I was expecting this to be the GNOME calculator or whatever they use, but even so, I mean, you can see excellent calculator app. This is probably the best one you can find. Theming is very consistent, looks good. So that's cool. The file manager is this is Nautilus that this is running. Again, you can see the themes, the folders, the icons look phenomenal. They match very well with the theme that's built into this. So we'll go back here and take a look. Gedit text editor, very standard. In graphics, you just get LibreOffice Draw. And we'll come back to this later. I'm going to try and install GIMP. I'm going to see if they have it in the Software Center so we can add something to this list here. Comes standard with Firefox HexChat, Mozilla Thunderbird, and Transmission, which is one of my, this is my personal favorite BitTorrent client. It works pretty well. Comes with the full LibreOffice suite, which I really appreciate because a lot of distros now are kind of shying away from that. They don't want to include as much out of the box. They want to kind of let you do it, and not worth it to me. I would rather have it all be here. Sound and video, GNOME MPV, so it's a video player. Works really well. I played a sample video that I recorded from Simple Screen Recorder, and that was good. So that works fine. Rhythm Box comes with Rhythm Box right out the gate, and Rhythm Box seems to work well. It's a good music player, shipped with Ubuntu for a long time. I'm not sure if it still does, but it's a good one. And then these two I installed, Simple Screen Recorder, obviously I'm recording the screen here, and Spotify, which again blew me away that I could even do that. I just Googled it. I just looked up how to install Spotify on Solus, and somebody had already figured out a way to do it. I don't know how they, I don't know if they pre-compiled it or if it, I just copied and pasted the command. I didn't really look at it, but I was impressed to find it. And then in sundry, printer settings, iBus preferences, standard stuff. System settings, background, Bluetooth, color, date and time, details. I mean, the list of settings here goes on and on. It's a lot of standard stuff you'd find. If you were to just open up a system settings application, a lot of this is the stuff that you would find in the system settings app, which is cool. I mean, it's fine. I have no issues with that. I usually just use the typing anyway. So yeah, you can, just to kind of show you some of the system specs here. So yeah, it was the GeForce 9500. That's what that is. And I'm actually running it on a 64 gigabyte solid state drive, and holy Lord, does it fly. I mean, you've seen it doesn't lag, but it really is incredibly quick anyway. I mean, I ran this, even when I ran it on my old laptop probably a year ago, it was pretty quick. But so yeah, that's what's in that menu. Standard stuff, Software Center, sound settings, users. You can do multiple users, as always. System tools, budgie, desktop settings. That's that same menu from before. Comes with Gparted, comes with NVIDIA stuff if you have a NVIDIA graphics card. Now this is the regular settings app. I imagine this is where, so this is all the same stuff that's in that settings menu list here, right here. So this is all that same stuff. So, two ways to get there. Good, faster, whichever one's faster for you. Cool. Terminal, everybody, if you're in Linux, you're probably going to be playing in the terminal, although really I have been able to avoid the terminal quite a bit. I mean, not that I really want to avoid the terminal, but I have been able to avoid the terminals extremely well in this distribution for some reason. I mean, it has been easier for me to just do it graphically, which is usually not the way it goes, but that's fine. I did install VMware Player. It took a little bit of doing. Really, I think it's only because I'm pretty unfamiliar with how Solus handles its software in terms of installing and dealing with some of the headers needed to be installed, and there was a bunch of unnecessary steps that I had to take to get VMware to work, but it does work. And I obviously VMware doesn't, they don't know about Solus. They haven't made a version specifically for Solus. Like you'll find .dev files and .rpm files that will, you could just click and install on a Debian-based system or a Fedora or RPM-based system. So I was really pretty surprised that I could get this to work. Obviously, you can compile things by yourself, and they'll work. Like there are universal installers that work on all Linux distributions, or I can't necessarily say all because I'm not 100% sure. I would assume so, but if you can compile it and run it, in theory, it should just work, right? And I had to do that in order to get VMware to work, but it does work, and I'll actually be taking a look at Ubuntu 17.10, the release of that, the beta release of that, that's running in GNOME. That's pretty interesting. So stay tuned for that, because I will be back with that. So moving right along, universal access, that's on-screen keyboard, you know, standard stuff, utilities, system monitor, screenshot, passwords and keys, image viewer, help, document, everything you'd expect out of a full baked desktop experience. And really, in conclusion, kind of, that's really what this is. It really is a full, complete desktop experience. I mean, I would have no issues setting this up for like an old lady, setting it up for a grandma, and just saying, here's your system, let it run, it'll do its thing. And if she wants to install anything, just go to the little app thingy and look. There's the app thingy, the software center. There's really simple menus here that you can follow, and Steam does work supposedly on this. I haven't tried it, but it's supposed to work. I did say I was going to try and install GIMP, so let's take a look here and see if GIMP is... Okay, so it is. So this is just to show you kind of how easy it is to install stuff on here via the graphical method. The terminal method is pretty simple. It does require a little bit of memorization in terms of like the commands you have to execute, but you know, it's not hard. So anyway, once you find the application you want to run, you just click the arrow. It gives you a very nice image of what it'll look like, good description. I'm not sure exactly which software center this is. I would imagine it's the GNOME Software Center, a version of the GNOME Software Center, but it's really very sleek and very well put together and very quick. So this button here will allow you to go visit the website, which I'm not going to do because, you know, you can Google it. But so you just click install, and it's going to tell you what dependencies you need. Just click install, type in your password. Sorry about the camera there. And so that's going to download the different components right here. And we'll let that real quick do its thing. Installing, extracting. Okay, so it's installed. Now, one thing I do have to mention here, and it's just because I tripped up on this. I was kind of sitting here and I'm really confused. I'm like, how do I get back to that main menu without having to close this app and go back into it, into that list, like that search list? And I couldn't find it. It's because the back arrow is all the way up here. So you have to hit that back arrow and then it'll just take you back into the list, which now that I've realized that it's there, it's fine. But I didn't realize before that it's there. But so that was that, and we'll take a look down here. Probably in graphics, and we have it there. So so yeah, that's been the official VinTech review of SOLUS OS, the SOLUS project. Go take a look at their website. I will include a link in the video description, but it is a really well put together distribution in general. I mean, the current version is so much more put together and complete than the previous versions. I mean, I will probably leave this as my primary system for the foreseeable future. It really is that good. And I'm picky. I mean, every single time I do a video, you've seen it's a different desktop environment. But so yeah, I'm gonna keep this one. It's good. Try it. Go out and do your own investigating. Those are just my 2 cents. I think it's good. I think it's really good. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody sticking around for all 24 minutes of this video. If you want me to do shorter stuff, if you have any suggestions, let me know. Put them down in the video description, or in the comments below, and I will definitely take those comments into consideration and do anything you guys want me to do in terms of Linux related stuff, or I can put up more gaming videos, although those are mostly for me anyway. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.